a fan of podcasts? What about audio dramas? Do you like suspense, mystery, action, and comedy? Of course you fucking do! Let me introduce myself. My name's Edith Dietrich, and I'm fucking great. I'm the secretary of one of the greatest PIs in the world, Mr. James Locke, Mr. J to me. He's the fucking greatest. He's the star of Atlas Avenue Beat, an audio drama created by Seven Lamb Productions. If that sounds interesting to you, visit sevenlamb.com or search for Atlas Avenue Beat wherever you listen to podcasts. I mean, hell, it's everywhere. And don't forget to rate and review, damn it!
The Rock always draws people in.
We were having a conversation.
No, please continue.
Oh, wait, like talk on the podcast?
You guys couldn't hear it, but Mark was drumming on the table. Hello, everybody! Welcome to the Alter Ego Podcast. Sorry I yelled.
So as I was saying, I'm very excited about Fast 9. Hello?
Sorry. Okay.
Hello,
okay.
Can you hear me?
So, a little bit of context. Ryan came into the room because he wasn't here the last couple weeks by a fault of his own. He was
by
murdered.
a fault of his own.
Yeah, it's his own damn fault that he didn't show up. Oh, my God. Oh, I've got to take care of my family. I love my wife. I want to provide. Yeah, right. Who cares about all that?
Whoa, bro. Who said anything about loving her?
Ooh, Abba
Just live with her.
I'm going to text her right
now. I
now.
hope she doesn't listen.
And validate that so that when you get home, you just have these eyes fixated on you and you're like, hey, babe. Love you.
Do you? Do you?
Yeah. So Ryan came in and was very upset that we gave Fast 9 a thumbs down. Actually, we gave him one of these.
Fucking horrible, man.
He was not happy about that. He wants to see the 9th iteration of the same movie.
And number 10, they're going to space. That's what they said. They said if we get to 10, we're going to space.
If they get in 10, they're going back in time.
Oh, no, that's 11. They go to space, they mess it up, and then 11, they go back in time to fix it.
And the last one will be Vin Diesel Tokyo drifting on a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's how that'll go.
Man, you don't know how excited I am.
You know what? But that's not important. What is important is that today's episode is brought to us by Ford Supply.
Oh, now I like your tone.
This episode of Alter Ego is sponsored by Ford Supply Company, makers of all natural and organic soaps for men with scents like tropical teakwood, citrus IPA, cypress pine, and many more. Visit their website at fordsupply.com and order online. Oh my God, hold on. Take two. Visit their website at fordsupply.com to order online and use promo code Alter Ego to get 10% off your order. Ford soap, no bullshit.
That's not the thing.
I want you to be quiet.
Close enough.
I just thought for Ford soap, it would be fun to create an actual musical jingle for them this week. I think that would be such a great thing. So what I would like for you to do is everybody think of a tagline for Ford Soap, aside from Ford Soap, no real soap, no bullshit, and the person next to them has to sing it in jingle format.
Oh, bro, you don't want that.
Make sense? All right, so, Mark, you have close ties with Ford Soap. I'd like for you to be the first one to come up with it, and I'll sing the jingle. Fair enough?
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
All right.
You got to test my improv skills here.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
The people are waiting, Mark. Okay.
You're staring at me. And it's
I know.
Really
I want to hear it.
Nervous.
Oh,
Just
boy.
a side note,
What's
we
he
had no
supposed to
preparation.
do? No, they had no preparation.
I feel
Otherwise,
attacked.
they wouldn't have gotten into the studio. So that's why I did it. Go ahead.
Good soap for your bad body.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ford Soap, it's good soap for your bad body. Yeah.
Very nice.
All right. Ford Soap, your family was killed by ninjas.
Well, now I want to sing the same way you
Don't
did.
sing it my way. I've got copyright on that. You want some music for it?
Again?
Ford Soap, your family was killed by ninjas. You want some music?
No, that's too hype. Your family was killed by ninjas. Gets
It
the
seems
Google
perfect.
song?
Okay. So we'll do that. You'll sing to that song, but as soon as you hit the tagline, I'll go.
Seems fair enough. It's a
All
change
right.
in tone.
Do you want the music or not?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Ford Soap. Your family was killed by ninjas.
Ryan?
It started with a Star Trek kind of vibe.
Yeah, it was good.
Ford Soap.
See, he's warming up the vocals because he knows he's going next. What you got for Ryan? Because Ryan's got something on deck for you, I can already tell.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Ford Soap. You stinky, we thinky.
Ooh. Why you got to give him a rap line? You're so weird. You want a beat? You want something? You want a music?
You want a music? My wife. You want a music?
You want music?
Nah, we'll do this a cappella.
All right, let's go.
Do it.
Yeah.
Glee style.
Hold on, what was that line again?
You thinky, we stinky.
Ford soap.
We thinky, you stink.
We thinky, you stinky.
We thinky, you stinky.
We thinky, you stinky. That's better.
I actually can't even sing, man. I'm not
You don't
even
have to
do it.
sing.
Just
give us something musical.
Just give it.
Ford soap, you stinky, you stinky. There it goes, something like that.
When you thinky, you stinky.
Okay. Ford
When you
soap,
thinky-
wash your ass.
You stinky.
Wash your ass. Wash yourself. Buy some soap. Show me what you're working with. All right, cool. What do you got
That's
for
an
Mark?
Instagram ad right there. I like it.
All right, what do you got for
Wash
Mark?
your ass.
Ford supply makes your nuts feel fly.
Woo! All right, you want music?
I want music.
All right, which one do you want? This one?
Let's go.
Which one do you want?
Top left.
Top
Let's go
left.
for it.
This one? The Google song.
That makes your nuts feel fly. Ford soap. Makes your nuts feel fly.
Yes.
You know what? That was so good. Let's give it up for Mark.
Oh, yeah. You know, you really just got to commit to the material. whether
Yeah, you do.
agree
You
with
had
it or
to
not.
dive in with both feet, and you know what? You did it. We all owned it. Good job, everybody. And thank you again to Ford Supply
They
for
paid hard-earned money for that.
sponsoring the show. I just wanted to go over because if any of you follow Alter Ego Podcast on Facebook, I post a buttload, a butt nickel, if you will, of stuff on the page. And I figured we should go over some of it briefly before we dive into today's subject matter, which if you're looking at the images, Carnage USA. And full disclosure, all of us have read Carnage USA except for Ryan, who I just handed to skim through it.
I thought it was Party in the USA, and I'm very unprepared.
Yeah, he thought it was a
very
Marley.
I
different
listened to it 10 times.
He texted me halfway through reading it, was like, when does Miley Cyrus show up? I was like, never, dude, never.
She's going to come in, bro, like a wrecking ball.
Okay, so here's a little bit of news. Will Keanu Reeves return in new Constantine movie? I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm over...
You're over Keanu Reeves?
not over Keanu Reeves. I'm over Keanu Reeves going back to his old roles.
Okay.
I mean, I love John
We want to
Wick.
see some new
Do
shit,
some new
Keanu.
stuff.
I think John Constantine has not been properly explored. No, okay. I think he's been properly explored. I loved Constantine. The
You saw my
original, but-
finger up, so
yeah,
you
no,
jumped
no,
right
you're
back
right.
in.
You're right.
Actually,
Sorry, I don't think that book is done yet. Let me say that. I don't think they're done exploring all the things they could with John Constantine, and I thought he did a great job. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know it was comic book property when I saw the movie.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I loved it.
Have you ever seen the Arrowverse version of John Constantine?
Yes, the blonde-haired guy.
Yes.
I've seen him. I've never seen a show because I was like, nope, you're not.
I didn't watch the show, but
You're
he was
not
on Legends
Constantine.
of Tomorrow, which I really committed to the first 2 seasons of. I liked him in that.
I know he's more accurate to the British side and the way his mannerisms are than Keanu was.
Yeah. He
But,
kind of leans
you know,
into that part a little
It is
bit more.
what it is. Here's another one. We'll move on. We'll do quick, right?
We'll do quick.
I speak word. Xbox renews the trademark for the Fable video game franchise.
So that's an Xbox exclusive, correct?
Yes.
That's why I've never played it.
So basically, in this game, it's kind of a guided game, not really an open world per se.
Mm-hmm.
You have a very linear goal.
It's a
in
perceived open world?
it. Correct.
Okay.
And I think if they do another one, it will be open world. But in Fable, the decisions you make impact the abilities your character gets. What I mean by that are all your choices are good or evil. So the more good things you do, the more good you become. You even get a little halo over your head.
Oh, wow.
You can get kind of divine powers as the game goes on, and the opposite. If you're a dick, you will get some devil horns. People will start being scared of you. The world reacts to the way you are. And the
Okay.
way
So your
you...
physical appearance changes
Oh, yeah.
as you make
And this
decisions.
is a video game, correct?
Yes,
Is
and
this-
you can play it down the middle and not get either one and
So
still
is,
be
is Fable the name of a character, or is
No.
Fable the
No,
name
just what it's
based
called.
on?
name of the franchise.
Is the goal to be down the
Oh.
middle, or is the goal to be
There is-
just make a decision one
It's
way or
no
the
whatever
other?
you
goal.
wanna be.
Yep.
So-
That's,
That's not
Ryan?
the name of the game.
As our resident video game expert, as I just given you the title of, how do you feel about open world and it going forward? Are you over it, or are you good with it?
I mean, I honestly prefer it rather than having a linear experience because it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to run around and do this, and my experience is different than yours, I like.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I can just watch the shit on a Let's Play on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Well, I think linear is good if you like the story.
I like the story.
Yeah, so
I'm not a big
linear is the
open
way to
world
go.
fan.
I'm an open world fan because I like to go out there and do the side quests
And
and
create
get
your
really
own
grindy
story.
exactly.
and do the things I want to do. And that way I feel accomplished when I finally go to fight that major boss. And it's kind of like when I'm showing up, I'm like, there's nothing this guy's going to be able to do to me.
Exactly.
I'm not a big video game person. I'm not an average size video game person either. But is there anything that's linear and then turns open world after you've made some accomplishments, like you get the best of both worlds kind of thing?
Yes, Gears 5.
Gears 5?
Yeah. Gears 5.
You'll just say
which
Gears
is
5
another
about
Xbox.
anything, though.
Gears 5.
So, well, Gears 5 has a...
What's the best video game? Gears,
Gears
5.
5. Well, I mean,
It's not the best video game. Gears 3 is the best video game. But
Still
Gears,
Gears.
all of them are all very linear. This was the first one where they actually had open world go where you want aspects of it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not leveling up in a traditional sense, but there are side quests. There are things that you can do out there in the open world while the story is still traveling on. So it's really, really good. Okay, here's another one. This is kind of a Marvel casting. Somebody vying for the role of the Kingpin, who is a former
yeah.
WWE superstar.
you're
The
not a
Big
fan,
Show.
clearly, Mark.
Mm-mm.
Mark, you don't look like you like the Big Show anyway.
No.
Paul White is a big fan of the show. I know he listens to Alter Ego on the weekly, but
I mean, he's not that bad.
so Paul,
Don't stop listening.
yeah, don't worry, Paul. I'll let you know where he
Bro,
lives.
that dude is massive.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. He fits the full. He fits the
That's
mold
the only
very
thing.
well.
Physically, he
I
fits
can't
it very well.
not see him as the Big Show, though.
Yeah, but maybe he'll surprise you. I
He
mean,
could.
do you know that he plays in a sitcom on Netflix as the dad of basically like a what's the
He is the Big Show.
I know.
Okay,
but
has anybody
he's-
watched that here?
No, but
I watched
when you-
30 seconds of it and went,
How can
No.
I put my hands?
Following.
How can I put my hands further under the table? Did you watch that? No, no. Sorry, because I saw it was a sitcom starring a WWE wrestler. I don't care how great of an actor you are. If it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson with pre-recorded claps and laughs, I'm not watching.
he just
No, he's
he
not a
seems like a
sitcom
very
fan.
nice and pleasant man.
Yeah.
But Kingpin is a big deal to me, so it has to be cast right.
Oh, you're a Spiderman fan. That's right.
I'm
Maybe
Spider-Man
he'll
fan.
surprise you though, because I mean we've seen some
I
surprise
think-
come out of people before.
I can appreciate you fighting for him, but I think he has a very slim chance of getting that role.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just saying.
And
Yeah.
Be optimistic.
This is going to sound
Open-minded.
stupid, but I've seen him in a suit before, and
It
he
doesn't
just
look
does
right.
not look like Kingpin.
Okay,
He looks like a man in an ill-fitting suit.
Yeah, well, CGI will do a lot for you.
That's
maybe
true.
he needs a better fitting suit.
Ant-Man 3 reportedly starting production in summer 2021.
All right, I love
Here
me
we
some
go.
Paul Rudd.
Here we go.
I love me some Ant-Man and Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd to me was like, finally, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Finally. It's not a superhero who's looking at a vast army and saying, bring it on, my strength will get me. Dude, Ant-Man, when he's like, I've got this big problem. You know what you should do? Call the Avengers. I was like, I love this. And like him being scared of doing stuff, you know what I mean? Like, or when
Yeah.
in
Like an
Civil
average
War,
guy who
does
gets-
anyone have any orange slices? I was like, this is amazing. I could not love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man
He was
anymore.
trapped in a van and released by a rat.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly, we're going to do a couple reactions to these. One, I'm so sorry, family out there. I've seen it. I'm sorry. The Boys Season 2 trailer. I did watch that, even though we're going to do a reaction
I
to it.
saved it for this.
Yeah,
I
you know what I
saved it, too.
saved? Umbrella Academy Season 2. That's the other one we're going to be watching. Here's one that got...
Uh-oh.
Our Facebook page doesn't get a lot of likes and loves and reactions and stuff like this. However, on this one, we got quite a couple of likes, mainly sad emojis, 2 comments, and 3 shares. I was like, what the... Sabrina got canceled. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, canceled by Netflix. All the ladies that follow our show were like, oh, Sabrina,
I was
no.
one of those ladies.
I
that
know you
sad
were.
at it.
My
I
I
teared
know
it.
you were.
It was one of those where I saw it and I saw the synopsis and I'm like, oh, I like that. That sounds really good. And then just never went out of my way to watch
Yeah.
it.
It's not the worst. It's not really a man show. I feel like it's very like, I'm sure you don't watch this one either, but it's very like Riverdale meets,
Pass.
right? Yeah. So I figured that's probably the reaction.
So it's like a CW.
My quote.
It's very high school kids are doing fighting crime and, well, not
Yeah.
really fighting crime. In Sabrina, it's obviously the devil and witches.
I was
and
gonna
all
say
that
it's
shit.
crazy.
Which I
I
like
walked
that.
in on
It's
my
not
wife like, what's
bad.
going on?
Is Salem
I mean,
the
it's really
talking
not
cat
bad.
in it?
No.
No, well, the cat is, but it doesn't talk to you.
Then
That was
what's
the first question I
point?
asked. That was the first question I asked, and I got up and I
It's
was like,
really
I'm out.
not bad. I just don't see grown men sitting around watching it. Personally.
It's really
She
not
would
that
not
bad.
watch it with
but
me,
when
which is
I
why I'm
walked
saying.
in to her watching, she's like, "I'll turn this off. We can watch something
Yeah,
else," because she
which
knows
is
I'm not going to be
90% of the
interested.
shit that I watch, to be completely
We have
honest.
too
That's
many
true.
options for something that's not that bad. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
we're spoiled. We
Yeah.
have more than 10 channels.
And since you're listening to this in the future, Wednesday, July 8th, our Patreon exclusive episode posted.
It's
For the
dropping.
Fantastic Four, 1994.
And what a
we love our
time.
patrons, and thank you so much for everybody that supports us, even by listening. We appreciate you. We love you. You're amazing. But if you want to listen to that little ditty about the worst movie I've ever seen, then you need to go on Patreon and be a contributor. And
Give
you can
Robert
definitely
Lamb a
listen to it.
dollar,
Yeah.
and you can watch it.
I don't know if it's $1. I don't know what lamb it is. By the
gotta
way,
be
the
a
tiers
sixth
are
lamb.
lambs. You got to be a sixth lamb.
You got to be a sixth lamb.
There are only 7 lambs. But I think it's all. Even the highest is under $10. Oh, it's $10.
It's $10
There
to
you
be
go.
an ultra lamb. 7 lamb.
Ultimate lamb. Get it
Whatever.
right or pay the price.
My favorite
Anyway,
Euro place.
today's subject matter,
Mm.
one that's very near and dear to my heart.
Sabrina.
Yep.
Mm.
Carnage USA. I want first impressions. What did you think when I presented Carnage USA to everybody?
When you presented it to me, you handed me the actual book.
Yeah.
I went, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Cover looks pretty cool, but we'll see where it
Cover
goes from
does
there.
look cool. It's Carnage draped in an American flag, looking just sadistic in Carnage style.
Because when it comes to movies and animated, I'm a Marvel guy. When it comes to
Comics.
comics, I'm a DC guy. So I've never read this before. I've never read a standalone Carnage, anything before.
Nice.
I was impressed.
I had read Absolute Carnage. That was my first.
I know you're hot and
standalone.
you're that, and then you're
He
hot
is,
and heavy
yeah.
into the new run with Venom. So, So I think after this, not to get into it too much, I might be in the symbiote train. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good train to be on.
yeah.
How about you, gorgeous?
I should ask
Talking
you
to
this.
Ryan.
I was
Oh,
going to say.
You already
If
got my
looks
answer.
could kill,
Jeez.
we'd already be dead.
I mean, it looks cool as shit. And then scrolling through it, I saw Captain America. Who was it? Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Spiderman. Yeah, Spiderman's in it.
I'm interested. I might actually read it.
Oh, you
No.
haven't read it?
No, I have not.
we're gonna tell him all
Much like
about
you,
it.
I haven't-
Let's spoil it.
Yeah,
go
right.
right ahead.
Yeah.
This
So,
keeps me
okay.
from reading.
I don't know if I've
I'm
said
all
this
about it.
on the podcast before. If Paul White's listening, tell me. I know you listen to every episode. I'm a spoiler guy. I love spoilers. Spoiler will actually get me to go watch
sometimes that
your
happens.
show or your movie
I gotta see
or
that
read the
happen.
book. Yeah, right. Somebody will say, "Oh, well, this happens." I'm like, I gotta see that.
I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is.
Movies, no. Comics, I can get around it. Once in a while, I'll listen to or read a review of a comic just to see if it's worth investing the time into reading it. More often than not, it is.
Yeah.
So
Me, I'm 100% for the spoilers, unless somebody's like, "You really don't want to hear about it." I'm like,
Except
"Okay,
for
whatever."
Endgame, we were pretty.
Endgame I did
against it.
stay away from because
yeah.
I wanted to appreciate it as it was. And some NFL player right off the bat was like, "I can't believe they did so and so like this," and major spoiler.
yeah.
It
I was like,
shit.
"Oh, cool, that's cool."
It was like day of.
Freaking
Actually, it
NFL.
might have even been before.
It was on the way, and it was LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn, I know you're a big fan of the show, but god damn it, man, F you. You know, you really shouldn't have tweeted that, LaShawn.
I'm gonna tip you something.
So there are.
Yeah, you
there-
were decent in Philly and okay in Buffalo, but that didn't give you the right to spoil that movie.
Save it for
fuck
your
that
other
guy.
podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There are
He's
two
fucked me
moments in
so
this
many
book.
fantasy leagues. Fuck that guy.
Oh my gosh. Well, that got dark.
So, anyways, Carnage. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like how
so-
an episode of Carnage got dark.
So back to Megan. Back to Megan. What were your thoughts? So she puts up with me talking about Venom and symbiotes and how much I love them, and Carnage is my guy, and she has been so sweet and got me my favorite shirt of all time, which is a big Carnage shirt where he's sitting there sprawled. Anyway, but she's never read a Carnage really.
I have not.
Yeah. So this was your first.
So do you want my first reaction of when I read it, or like when I saw it? Because I'm the one that showed it to you.
Yeah,
So
that's true. She found it and showed it to me.
And it was right before 4th of July, and I was like, you guys should do this as a Patreon episode
Yeah.
or something for the 4th of July. So I mean, it definitely kind of fit to the fold of the current
Yeah.
current time of year. But when I first saw it, I loved it. I think the cover definitely draws you in. I kind of skimmed through it, and obviously it's a what are those called? Graphic novel, trade paperback.
A trade paperback.
A trade paperback.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so there's probably 4 or 5 actual comic.
Yep, I believe it's 4
comics inside, and so obviously when you do that,
5.
Yeah, when you scroll through a trade paperback, you see kind of the covers. Once it jumps from one to the next, you see the covers, and I was just like, this is incredible. The art was just insane.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that he loves him, so, but when I read it, holy smokes. We'll get into it.
It was very different the way it was drawn, speaking of the art, than a traditional comic book. It was much more, I don't know, I don't want to say, it was less cartoony. It was more, I felt, drawn kind of realistically.
A little realistic, yeah.
And I will say, since we're jumping into the story, that this comic book could be made into a movie and scare the hell out of people.
Yeah.
I think this movie would terrify some people.
So after seeing this, and then, or after reading this, and then seeing the after credit scene from the last Venom movie,
with
can
Woody
you
Harrelson.
see how big of a gap there is in my head from him in that funny wig to this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Carnage gets a little humorous in I mean, maybe not entirely.
I think he's
now that I think
sadistic
about it.
to the point where he's saying stuff that is so off the wall and sadistic that it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
I just don't want Woody coming in and cracking jokes and being like, I'm crazy.
I don't see him doing that. I see Tallahassee from Zombieland. Only sadistic, and it being humans and not zombies. Being so amped up about killing people and just wanting to be nothing but absolute carnage. And in the same sense of Tallahassee and Zombieland, not being able to touch him.
Okay.
And I think, what was the movie he played in? Was he in, he was an American Psycho. What movie was he in? Natural Born Killers. Think of a sadistic Woody Harrelson. Okay. I think he's quite literally the best guy for the job.
I think he's going to definitely surprise you.
I hope so.
And I hope it's like the Venom animation where they let the symbiote do the talking. And they let it, like, not like Spider-Man 3 where when Venom was there, they pulled back and it was Topher Grace with fangs. I was like, I don't like this.
No, it was
and
very
in
dumb.
the Venom movie, they actually let Venom talk, so I think it'll be cool to see Carnage do that.
Yes.
But back to this.
Okay, back to the comic. Let's go.
Carnage is as advertised in this. He does not pull punches. He does not spare lives. He does not give a shit. The premise of it is it's a remote town. I forget the name of the town.
Doverton, yeah. In like middle of nowhere.
And they
Kentucky-ish.
show these images of happy families and people doing average everyday things. And
little
this is
small
a very,
town,
very remote
farm town.
Yep.
Farm town with a factory or
meat
something.
packing plant.
A meat packing plant. That's what it was.
And that's the whole thing that it's centered around in this town is this meat packing plant. And you see all these families, ha, 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 we're having a great time. And out of nowhere, there's this dude that is running into a house, freaking out, screaming for his wife, asking where the children are, and
telling her to stop using the water.
Stop using the water, get away from the sink. And she's just kind of like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You're scaring Sally or
right.
whatever her
and
name
he's
is.
like, it's in the water, is what he's telling her. And he's like, where are the boys? And she's our oldest is upstairs giving the baby a bath. And you just go, oh, shit. And he runs in there
like,
and kicks the door open.
Not with water.
And it's fucked up because one of the babies is already fully carnageized.
The baby.
The baby. And the other one has Carnage crawling up his arm. And they're
like,
both
help.
looking at him and going, Daddy, help me. And it's like,
my God.
oh, my God.
Yeah, it's immediately it's like page 2 and you're immediately like, what?
You're like, oh, this went south quick.
This is a definite Carnage book.
But you see that, and you haven't even seen Cletus yet. And Cletus is iconically the most famous and the most powerful wearer of the Carnage symbiote. So the way symbiotes work, I read this, they vomit out their offspring, and they don't care about them. Once they've done that,
Wash their hands.
No identity, don't care about you. It's like splitting of what is that? What are those creatures? Anyway, doesn't matter. They're little microscopic creatures that could split and then off they go. They
Foxes.
just multiply. Yeah, that's it. Foxes.
Wow.
Oh, perfect.
And so Carnage doesn't have any kind of preconceived notions, and the first person he latches on is to Cletus. So he gets all of his character defects and all of his mentalities and everything that's important to him from this serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
So Carnage is just, I don't know. I think Cletus Cassidy really is the guy that best personifies him. And when you find him, he's in the meatpacking plant. There's another guy working the line, and you see that some of the carcasses coming down the line have been eaten and destroyed. And he's like, what the hell? And he looks over, and it's Carnage. And Cletus, blood all over him, is just like, no, my other was hungry, sorry.
No big deal.
So basically,
Little snacky
Carnage
snack.
is eating all of this meat
Yeah, he's taking big
And-
hunks out of the meat,
yeah.
just hungry and just.
and making his symbiote massive
Mhm.
and huge. And it's like, oh boy. So the first people they call in, can you roll call for us there, Megan, since you have it in front of us?
Sorry, say that one more time because I was reading.
Who they call in?
Is Captain America,
Oh,
Cap?
they call Cap,
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man, Wolverine,
Hawkeye.
My boy.
Hawkeye. Isn't Hulk in there too?
No.
It's
Thing.
Wolverine. The Thing. Fuck.
Thing.
The Thing. Sorry, guys.
So they call this
There they
group in Hawkeye, Captain America, Wolverine, Spiderman, and the Thing.
Can we stop for just a second?
No.
Does anybody else love how they dog on Ben
Grimm.
Grimm?
They don't. Hawkeye does.
That's true. It's just funny to me.
I love Hawkeye.
Throwing shade.
Yeah.
And he's like so accurate about him.
They're like, can we call the Thing? And he's like, why? So we can hear more stories about Yancey Street down in Brooklyn? And they're like, hey, man, chill, Hawkeye.
And then he says, it's clobbering time, just like he did. in
Right.
that shit.
He says it's
Fantastic
clobbering
Four
time,
movie.
and then Hawkeye goes, fucking course it is.
Of course it is.
You know, the rest of them are like, what's going on between the Thing
Like,
and
yo, Hawkeye and the Thing do not like each other. Although Clint Barton is one of those. He's an alpha. He doesn't really care what anybody thinks about him, whether he's got the ability or not. He's a cocky douche. I like him a lot.
He's talking
Okay,
shit about a man made of rocks.
To fix my previous statement, it's Doverton, Colorado. It's not Kentucky somewhere.
Mm.
So it's actually a real state that they used.
I'd just like to apologize to Paul White, LaShawn McCoy, all of our other famous listeners. Who have we said has listened to the show before? Triple H.
There's a
listens to the
lot of
show.
famous
He's just
people.
going to name more wrestlers.
He's apologizing for
Hogan.
my false facts.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Feige
Please.
listens every
Kevin
week.
Feige's a big listener of the show. Feige.
Keanu.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck's a big listener of the show.
Anyway,
Zack Snyder as
I'm
well.
sorry. You don't need to apologize for me. I got this.
Don't worry, Ben. She
Me
won't
and
do it.
apologize on LaShawn.
We'll put all the
McCoy. I'll stand
retractions
on
at the
that.
end of the episode.
Anyway, let's all take a look at this picture.
This is a
little
picture.
Show and tell.
So here's what happens, right? The Thing, the big team shows up to deal with Carnage, and
It's
and
the
when he-
Avengers.
when-
Dun, da, da!
when he's walking in, so I think it's important to build this up.
Yeah.
They're walking into this town, and everybody is standing outside in the middle of the street, looking at them, just going, big smiles, and they're like, what the is going on? And everybody just is ignoring what they're saying, like they're robots going, big smiles, and then you see Cletus Cassidy standing in the middle of the street holding a baby,
yes,
and you're
a
like,
baby.
oh no.
And there's a woman amongst them that's doing the big smiles, and then she's like out the side of her mouth, please, my baby. Like
Yeah.
you can tell she's like fighting to
Yeah,
say
she
something
sneaks
other
up to
than that.
Spider-Man. She's like, can you help me out?
Save my baby. And Spider-Man's like, oh God.
Smiling,
And so
smiling.
they're all standing there, kind of Captain America's doing the, they're going to stab you, you son of a bitch. And Carnage bursts out from the sewer and grabs every single one of them except for Spiderman. And they all become little Carnage, I don't know, drones, if you
Yeah.
want to call them that.
Well, it's funny because Hawkeye's like, I'm going to shoot him with an arrow. Spider-Man's like, that's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, what are you
Stop
doing?
trying to shoot him with an arrow.
Yeah.
That's all Hawkeye's good for.
Hawkeye's like, he's holding a baby. I'm going to, he's holding a baby. And then they go, no, Hawkeye, don't do that. Don't do the sensible thing.
And then they all became carnageized.
Yep. And so then from then on,
All except for Spider-Man.
right, Spider-Man does not get carnageized. And I forget. Oh no,
Because he's yelling, "Don't let it touch you!
Yeah,
don't let it touch you!"
Don't let that
Spidey
stuff
says-
get
Tell
on
him,
you.
I
And
know
everybody
this
did
guy.
their regular shit. Like, I'm
And
going to run in
fucking touched
claws
him.
first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
That doesn't work with him.
nope.
The rest of that is them trying to save the town from Carnage, and they call in just a little bit of help.
Well, first they announced that if they can't take care of everything by sunup,
Yep, by
Bomb the
sunup
town.
that day.
yeah, we're going to bomb the town. We're just going to nuke the shit out of it.
We'd rather kill this whole town and have that on our conscience than have Cletus Cassidy get loose and get crazy and dig himself in.
Yeah,
That's-
take over
that's
the next
unreal
town
to
and
me.
The next town.
I'm kind of like, shoot, man. He's that big of a problem that they're like, no, we're just going to kill the whole town.
He just multiplies like that. Like, it's just never ending.
Yeah, and I forget the name of the squad they call in, but all of them have some form of symbiote.
Yeah, like the hybrid or
Yeah.
something like
Oh
that.
yeah. What
So
the
these
hell
are
is
4 super soldiers.
Yep. Well,
That-
super soldiers because of.
Yes. Well, they're 4 regular top of their class soldiers
Yeah.
that are each given a different version of the
Contingency
symbiote.
They
Yeah.
are the Mercury team. So they're talking about they talk about Scorn.
Yeah,
Who is
Scorn.
the-
Scorn is a character from a previous
Like a
iteration of
physicist
Carnage.
or
Yeah,
something like that.
she's from I think not Absolute Carnage. She's from another Carnage standalone where it latches onto her.
Mm-hmm.
The Carnage symbiote does. She manages to survive and get out, but not before it completely messes her mind up, and
Yeah, it
it
says,
also births another symbiote, I believe,
Yeah.
which is Scorn.
Because she's very intelligent, but kind of there's something missing. Like there's something not clicking right.
Mm-hmm.
She seems a little impulsive and
Yeah.
And a little distant
yeah.
from everything.
It says that she's a hybrid of symbiote and machine, allowing Dr. Neves, that's the person that's obviously in the suit,
Yeah.
to form sympathetic bonds with technology.
Yeah, so like the other 4 are like gearing up, getting ready to go, let's go, and she's just kind of like, I'm working on something.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're like,
she's got her
no,
own
we got to
thing.
go right now. Like, I'll catch up with you guys
I'll
later.
get there when I get there.
And then the
Yeah.
Mercury team is just a bunch of freaking badasses too. Let's talk about the one with the dog, shall we?
Yeah.
Lasher.
Yep.
What? Okay. Funko World.
You're
are
a
you
fan of that
listening?
one, huh?
Are you listening, Funko World? I need a Lasher in my life. Like, super bad.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's Riot.
Yep. Riot. Like it's
Yep.
like, wait, what? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agony is the other one, and there is a 4th one on that team.
Phage.
He's the one who says the shooting the target range is over
He's
a
the
mile
sniper.
away.
He's a Navy SEAL
And he's like,
sniper.
yeah, okay, pop, pop, pop. And he hits it no problem because the symbiote is guiding where he needs to be aiming, and which is insane.
So is this the first book you've ever read that's militarized the symbiotes before?
Yes.
So to roll back to our 3rd episode about Venom,
Mm-hmm.
when I talked about the fact that I would have liked to see the Tom Hardy movie with the militarized version,
The Flash Thompson version.
the
Yes.
Flash Thompson
would
version, with the
be
team, and they split them up into different, go to different soldiers, blah, 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 blah. Can you see that now a little bit more after reading this?
No, it's not that I didn't see it the first time. It's so much that when you're introducing Eddie Brock, Eddie Brock isn't about that life. Eddie Brock is just trying to learn this whole thing. So
Yeah.
could it go from there? Possibly, but you got to remember, Agent Venom is a completely different host.
Yes.
That's Flash Thompson, not Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock is never the militant Agent Venom that we
Oh,
wanna
absolutely.
see.
And-
Now, I could see there being a situation where he's separated from Eddie Brock, and that happens. Possibly. I don't know if we'll see that in this Spider-Verse scenario, but they're going to need more than Venom to take down Carnage in this movie.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to pull in a lot of people. Because when they assemble a team like this, I'm like, okay, I can see a universe like that on screen. Whereas Eddie Brock Venom without a Spider-Man just falls a little flat for me.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
Agent
Especially
Venom,
because,
yes.
especially because
Without
he
a
doesn't
Spider-Man.
even have the symbol on
Yeah.
his chest, the iconic Venom symbol.
I'm wondering if there's like a little tussle in an upcoming movie. Maybe they work something out with Disney, and then boom, you got the
well, they have
got
to
the
work
symbol.
it out with Sony.
Yeah.
It's Sony.
So yeah,
So
well, yeah, Sony
so-
has to work
which
it
they
out with.
don't with themselves.
Well, no,
Because Tom Hardy is still Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy and Tom Holland are both exclusive to Sony. Tom Holland is lent out to Disney.
Yeah.
So it's both their properties.
But
It's
they're-
very possible we see Tom Holland in this movie.
Oh, I'm sure they will, because I think that was what led to them bringing the universes back together a little bit. I'm sidetracked in this whole thing.
That's
So, anyways, yeah,
Not a
I'm hoping they
Carnage
tussle. Little DNA gets swapped, and then we get the spider symbol on Venom in the future.
That's got to happen at some point. It's got to happen.
And then back to Carnage.
You guys got high hopes, don't you?
Yeah,
Very high hopes.
But
this guy makes
I
fun of
want
me for
Agent
Fast
Venom.
9.
But I'm
Like
ready to
Venom
be
two
heard.
is gonna be good. Like Venom 2 is going to be good.
Okay, so this one is working on having a good second iteration. The other one has fallen flat for the last 6.
I
Has
disagree.
it, though?
No further
I
questions,
disagree.
Your Honor.
Any whoozy
Look
woozy.
at those gross box sales.
How about
and see
this
who's
one?
done worse?
We need to drive even faster this time. Come on, man. Okay, so he's also going
Like a turd.
overseas. Yeah.
In the wind.
Oh my god.
Jack and mates.
No, sorry, buddy. Okay.
Back to
This is where I
Carnage
wish
USA.
I could cue up that song at the end of it. If I see you again, you ain't getting 1050 from me, motherfucker. Go too fast and.
Don't bring up the Venom Eminem rap.
Okay, I won't. Back to the
I'm not
book.
sure what's happening right now.
We're just arguing about Fast and Furious versus Venom.
I
for
know.
some reason.
Why? Totally different things.
Okay, let's roll it back.
Anyway, I'm currently here on whatever page this is. Comics don't have numbers. And I have to say that I adore the fact that all of the superheroes symbioted are sitting around playing pool together.
They're
during
being
some
forced.
downtime.
They're being forced to play pool.
Oh yeah. I know they are, but
like
it's
they
still
have
fucking
nothing
cool.
better to do.
They're just sitting around playing pool.
Yeah, and at some point, Carnage says to that woman, "You need to go kill your husband, or I'm going to kill your kids."
Oh, yeah.
This is the same guy we're
Oh,
talking about from
boy.
the beginning of the book because he's
Yeah.
off trying to obviously organize a stop to this.
Yep.
And
The sheriff of the town, I believe.
Mhm. Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
the outside perspective, and he's like, he's the ongoing thing throughout the entire book, and I really like that aspect of it because
Yeah.
it kind of brings everything in and brings it all
and
together outside of the superhero
put your
stuff.
emotions in it too because
Yeah.
then you're involved in his family and what happens to him. You're not. It's not just the town
Yeah.
and all these different people.
Ah, man,
So-
fuck them kids.
But what's funny, and I mean, are we good to? We're kind of already spoiling it. Am I good to just say
If
what
we're
I want
going over the book,
Okay.
we're definitely
We're halfway
spoiling it.
through now.
because it's kind of funny that we're not we're not even halfway through the book right now that I'm looking at, and it's his wife and 2 kids
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
that are covered in the Carnage symbiote. But in the beginning,
He's got 3.
he's got 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So little Sally Sue
Yeah.
got eaten.
Yep. The baby's there, and the oldest girl is
Boy.
there. Is it the boy? I
The
don't
girl's gone, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So the 2 that were upstairs originally that got the symbiote on them.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it gets pretty crazy, and it really starts to come down to the wire. My favorite moment of this whole series was
The zoo animals.
when
That was probably
when Carnage is trying to force Captain America to kill the
Yes,
wife.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was hoping we were going to discuss that because he
When
does
she's-
like snap
he
out
tells
of it.
he tells Steve Rogers, okay, kill the kids and the wife, and the capped out symbiote guy's just like, you can see he's
tell
fighting like a
he's
motherfucker,
fighting like
It's a battle of
motherfucker.
wills.
and he's like, don't disobey me, you got to do it,
And he ends up. That's how Agent Venom shows
so
up.
Cap pops out of it for a second and like screams 4 numbers into his mic,
Yep.
and you're like. And Carnage is like, who'd you call? What the
Yep.
fuck? Who'd you call? And then you see this badass full-page spread of Agent Venom going, I'm
There
ready.
it is. Yeah, he says.
And that's where you left
This is
off
Steve-
originally, right?
Yeah.
This is Steve
Oh, boy.
Rogers. Yeah, it says this is Steve Rogers requesting a spike drop on my location for code name 4563. Repeat 4563, and then it just fucking takes him back.
Yeah, it takes
and
him
Carnage
back.
is like, no fair. Like,
Yeah.
he takes him back, and he's like, yeah, who did you call? And then it shows
Ghostbusters.
It shows the freaking baller. on
I
his
love
page.
Agent
I
Venom.
do
was
too. He's
as soon as I
cool.
So good.
as soon as I flipped to that page, I went, ooh.
Yeah, I like quickly had to read this side because I had to know like what is happening.
My favorite thing that Carnage does every time he sees Venom is he makes daddy jokes. He goes, oh, looks
Hi,
like daddy got
Dad.
a job.
Daddy got a job.
Hi, Dad. And to me, I just think it's too freaking funny. And, and it is not, it's important to say it's not Eddie Brock. It is Flash Thompson,
Mm-hmm.
who, if you know anything about Flash Thompson, I think was originally Hydro Man.
Was he?
Wasn't he?
I don't know.
I thought he was originally Hydro Man, but he joins the Army. He becomes one of the Rangers and becomes a paraplegic.
Mm-hmm.
He can't use his legs until they throw the symbiote on him, and he's up and running.
He's got symbiote legs.
Back and better than ever.
Yep.
And then you get the incoming battle between Venom and Carnage, which is
I loved it.
very different than what I thought it would be.
As
So it's
soon as it broke down, I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
yeah, it's important to say that this is after a major arc of Carnage where Cletus Cassidy has been ripped in half. That's how they beat him last time.
I didn't know about any of this,
Yeah.
and I didn't know about the microorganism. Blah blah. What was it?
It's
What's his
like
legs? What are his legs made out of?
Jesus.
Symbiote,
Nano something?
nanobots,
Nanotechnology.
yeah, something like
Either
that.
way, they've built him. Lieutenant Dan, he's got metal legs. And so Scorn shows up with her thing that she's finally been working on all this
The
time,
thing she was
which is
slowly tinkering with while
which-
everybody else was losing their mind.
a machine to rip symbiotes from their hosts.
Mm-hmm.
She catches Carnage.
So she came in with the bell.
Yeah. She
Was it
came in.
like a sonic blaster or something?
No,
like-
it was an actual
Oh no,
machine.
that's what
Yeah.
Agent Venom
Is
had.
that
He
the
had like
thing
a
that's on
sonic
her
blaster.
arm? Isn't that like
Yeah.
a big thing she has on her arm? Or is it a separate machine?
It's a separate machine
okay, because
altogether.
there's a drawing of her early on that she's got like a huge fucking machine gun as an
right.
arm. So I
but
didn't
they
know
end
it
up
was
in
the
an
same.
actual physical room
Gotcha.
together without the symbiotes on them. And then you have Flash Thompson, who can't use his legs. And then you have Cletus Cassidy with no legs. And
Well,
I
at
think
first
it's
he's like, so you have a symbiote as a leg? Oh, that sucks. And then he starts walking. He's like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
legs
yeah.
start deteriorating.
And the funny thing to me is they say what they are now. Flash Thompson, human being, blah, 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 ex-army. And then they go, Cletus Cassidy, still a serial killer. And it's like, when they said that, I was like, Flash is in trouble here.
Yep. And they just went at it.
Yep.
It was,
Yeah, it's good.
that was
He's-
a good couple of
so
pages.
he's getting first of all, like whenever he shows up and Spider-Man's there and it's like the first encounter, I love that he's like, all right, Avengers assemble. And that's coming from
Yeah,
Venom.
from Venom.
And Spider-Man's like, oh crud, the Punisher's dressed like me. But then later, when Agent Venom is shooting at Carnage, and Carnage asks him, "How many more of those do you have?" And he starts counting down 93, 92,
Yep.
91.
Yeah. He got a bunch.
Yeah,
He got enough for the whole family.
Oh, boy.
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So it ends up everybody dies. Ben Grimm dies. Wolverine dies. Captain America dies. Carnage dies. Venom dies. All the kids die. No, I'm kidding. None of that's true. I'm going to let you
It's getting
figure it out from there.
How about the fucking lion that gets all carnage?
Okay, so apparently in this town, some guy has a zoo.
He's a millionaire.
He's a millionaire. He has a zoo. And then once the shit started breaking out, they released all
That
the
sounds real
animals.
familiar.
They released all the animals. Like, oh, the animals will make a perimeter.
Joe Exotic.
Yep,
yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, put Joe
Thanks,
Exotic in
Joe.
a Carnage comic.
But I mean,
But,
we've got fucking giraffes, gorillas, lions, tigers,
Oh, my.
bears. Oh
Oh,
my!
my.
Just
Yeah.
when I got to the point where I'm like, those zoo animals never really came back around
They
and
never
did
do it.
anything.
There's
I
one part
flipped
where
the page and I went, that is a gorilla with a symbiote on it.
Yeah, so Spider-Man is breaking it down, and there's a fucking gorilla standing right next to him. Is anybody going to do anything about the gorilla?
Remember those?
And then somebody
rogues
just walks over and is
rebels?
like, shoo. So when the symbiotes
That's how
get,
it works in the wild, actually.
So when the symbiotes get ripped from their hosts, they have to find a way back. And what they do is they latch on to these fucking animals.
There's a giraffe.
There
There's
is
a
a
Carnage
fucking
giraffe. There's a Carnage monkeys. There's Carnage lions. But Venom picks the gorilla. Man after
Yep.
my own heart. Venom picks the gorilla, and the gorilla is the first one to make it back.
And he looks dope.
He does look amazing.
They all look pretty amazing.
So if I remember right, the two are still scrapping. Cletus and Flash are
Yep.
still scrapping.
Right.
And then the gorilla finds its way back to Flash.
The
and then
Venom finds its way back.
Venom
yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah.
And then goes right back
jumps
onto
back
him.
onto Flash, and then all of a sudden
He's like,
it
oh,
is
I
a-
guess my symbiote actually likes me.
Yep. It's a one-sided fight after that.
Then he's just
Yep.
beating up a man with no legs.
Yeah.
And then they did something with a comic that I really kind of liked, although it was fucked up. They go back to, what Megan was talking about. The sheriff at the end. They have Cletus Cassidy Venom's got a pistol in his mouth and is like, just let me kill him, guys. We're in this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Rogers has to be Steve Rogers. And be like,
The justice system
enough
and such.
people have died. And, I think Spider-Man also says something along the lines of, no, don't kill him. Then we're not any better than him. I don't agree with either of you on this. I'm with Agent
went full
Venom.
Batman.
Pull the trigger. Go,
Blow
oh, my
him.
finger slipped. He bit my finger, and I accidentally blew
Back
his
his head
brain out of it. Sorry, guys. Whoopsie. Guns are dangerous. And no, that doesn't happen.
Sure.
And then the sheriff shows up, and he's like, no, I'm going to kill him. And they have to physically
He
stop
killed family
him.
members. I'm
Yeah,
telling
he
him.
goes, no. Before that son of a bitch got here, I had 3 kids. Now I've only got 2.
Mhm.
And Spider-Man has no retort.
It's
He's like,
good point.
I'm very sorry.
One of my children has been killed.
by that guy that
By
you've
that
got
guy.
right there that I could kill. No problem.
So I didn't have that John Wick 2 moment at the end where
Nope.
he just one of my favorite moments in movies.
When he shoots the guy at the
I'm
end.
just like, just do it, bro, just do it. And he just, man, fuck it. Boom.
But yeah, this book, I really don't know how to take it. It's Carnage, so I wasn't expecting a happy ending.
No. I like the very one-shot aspect of it because you don't
Yeah.
really need to. Most comics, you have to read the full series and kind of get invested in everything going on.
Yep.
This is a pick up and read, and I really appreciated that. I think
Yeah.
we need more of that
Yep.
because you can enjoy things as they are and as they are in front of you instead of feeling, well, I don't know what happened before this. I don't know what happened after this. I don't know the story behind all this. You
Right.
can just pick it up, read it, and enjoy it.
And
And
be
I
done
think
with
that's
it. Yep.
great.
Yep. And you didn't need to do that with you need to do more with Absolute Carnage that just came out. There's so many side stories with Deadpool, Miles Morales.
Spider-Man is very guilty of having that center arc and then just having all the things spur off of
And
it.
things that are going to come back into the comic after you've been reading, like, wait a minute, when did this happen?
Yeah, so you just feel very left out if you're not reading everything.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a perfect contained story.
Yep.
Yeah, and I thought it was really good. So you guys should definitely go check it out, pick it up. 5 issues.
Available
Carnage
at Yancey
USA.
Street Comics.
Yeah, it's available.
If you're in the
freaking
Tampa Bay
everywhere.
area.
Yeah. We personally get it from our favorite comic book store, which Ryan took his first trip to ever.
Let's talk about his field trip
Pretty awesome. Place is huge, too.
to Emerald
Lot
City
of shit.
Comics.
A lot of stuff, a lot of comics. That's actually where we ended up finding that book, and thank you to them. They've supplied us with a lot of our material that we cover here on the podcast. So feel free to check them out. I think they're at emeraldcitycomics. No, that's not them. emeraldcitycomics.com is the big main distributor. I will get their stuff and share it out. I share a bunch from Emerald City on the Alter Ego podcast page. So feel free to go check that out. Do we think we've covered enough here about good old Carnage USA?
Oh, we've covered it.
You feel good?
Aside from this little ditty that Carnage sings in here, the Itsy Bitsy Spider song.
He sings that, I think, almost every
Itsy
time he
bitsy
sees him.
Spider, blah, 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 blah. something, something, something gets his heart torn out. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
That was pretty good. You know what else is pretty good? This song.
This
Not
is a
bad.
great song.
It's a good song.
It's a
I
great
wrote it
song.
myself.
We believe you.
I know everybody
I
does.
honestly did.
All right. Well,
You wrote all the lyrics.
thank you so much for checking out the Alter Ego Podcast. You can find us at alteregopodcast2@gmail.com. On Instagram at podcast_ego. Facebook at the Alter Ego Podcast. Instagram at Alter Ego Pod. YouTube.com/Alter Ego Podcast. And www.patreon.com/7lamb if you want to contribute to us. Again, thank you to our patrons. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to Paul White. Thank you to Ben Affleck. Thank you to everybody who listens to the show.
Still fuck LaShawn McCoy.
Fuck LaShawn McCoy.